Maybe you're going through a moment when everything feels heavier and slower. You practice, visualize, affirm, but the doubt, the exhaustion, and the feeling that something's off still remain. This isn't failure, it's the precursor of a vibrational reorganization. Before transformation comes the inner collapse. Chaos is the signal that something old is dissolving so that a new frequency can emerge. The quantum field isn't punishing you. It's simply reflecting with precision what you're vibrating, even unconsciously. Bruce Lipton explains that the subconscious continues transmitting old patterns, even when the conscious mind wants the new. Greg Braden reinforces the field is a mirror that magnifies what's within you. If everything feels stuck, maybe you're between identities, leaving behind who you were and still becoming who you are meant to be. This passage creates confusion, but when everything feels dark, it's because the light is about to be born. The distorted reflection comes from within, from a soul in transformation. Welcome the chaos with presence. It is necessary. It's the body releasing old burdens. It's the heart adjusting. It's not the end, it's the threshold. The greater the confusion, the closer the breakthrough. You only need to move through it truthfully. In the hardest moments, it's common to feel like you're going backwards. But the confusion you feel is not failure, it's transition. It's your inner structure dissolving. Parts of you were built to survive, not to thrive, and they resist change. This resistance creates turbulence, an alert mind, a wavering heart, an exhausted body. And that's okay. You're between identities. You're no longer who you were, but not yet who you'll become. Bruce Lipton explains that the subconscious holds on to old patterns even when the conscious mind longs for something new. Greg Braden reminds us, the quantum field doesn't judge, it simply reflects what you vibrate now. If things feel stuck, it's because your new frequency is still stabilizing. The way out is not to fake peace, but to accept discomfort as part of the rebirth. Chaos is the sound of your soul reorganizing. You are decoding yourself. And this in-between space is sacred. Stay there with presence. Trust the emptiness. Confusion is a sign of growth. You are not broken. You are being reborn. Maybe you've already asked the universe for a sign, a direction, and still everything remains silent. But the quantum field only responds clearly to what is emitted with clarity. And vibrational clarity doesn't come from beautiful words. It comes from energetic coherence. If the mind asks for peace but the body vibrates fear, the field picks up confusion. Bruce Lipton reminds us that 95% of our vibration comes from the subconscious. Greg Braden adds, the field reads frequency, not words. Asking for clarity while holding guilt, doubt, or resistance is sending mixed signals. The silence of the universe is not absence, it's echo. An echo of your own vibrational disarray. Before asking for an answer, you must sit with your pain. Bring presence, feel, because presence organizes. And when mind, body, and heart point in the same direction, the field responds with precision. You're not doing it wrong. You're being invited to align, to listen, to clear, to ask again, with your whole being saying yes. The clarity you seek outside begins within. Have you ever felt like the universe is silent, like nothing is responding despite all your searching? Maybe it's not a lack of response, but too much noise coming from within. The noise comes from a tense body, a racing mind, shelved emotions. Bruce Lipton explains that the body reacts to the perception of reality. If you live on high alert, you vibrate defense, and the field picks up on that before you even speak your request. Greg Braden reinforces, the universe responds to states, not words. If your body is in survival mode, the vibration it emits is confused, and the field simply reflects it. Wishing is not enough. Your body must sustain the desire. Before asking the universe, ask yourself, is my system receptive? If it isn't, that's okay. It's an invitation to restore. Breathe, walk with presence, eat with love, speak with truth. Each gesture that calms the body clears the vibration, and when the body calms, the field listens. Clarity comes from within. Be still, and the universe will answer. There's a common misconception on the spiritual path, believing that high vibration equals euphoria. But the highest frequency isn't loud. It's quiet, steady, peaceful. It requires no effort, no forced enthusiasm. It's a state of real presence. When you try to appear positive but your body vibrates tension, the field can tell. Bruce Lipton explains that the body translates emotions with precision. Greg Braden reinforces, The field responds to what you sustain, not what you pretend to feel. Euphoria is a peak. Presence is permanence. The most divine moments are quiet. They're made of acceptance, of surrender to the now. The highest vibration is the one that doesn't need to prove anything. It simply is. So when you're tired of trying to vibrate high, stop, breathe, feel. Allow yourself to be as you are, without forcing. Because it's in true peace that the field listens with clarity. The universe responds powerfully to what is aligned within. Maybe you've done everything right. You've read, visualized, practiced, but the flow still feels blocked. What if the blockage is in what's still vibrating inside you? Fragments from the past, pain, fear, rejection, remain active in your field, emitting signals that the universe picks up with precision. Bruce Lipton shows that the body operates based on what hasn't been integrated. What hasn't been embraced keeps transmitting. You may ask for love while vibrating old wounds. Ask for abundance while carrying inherited guilt. Ask for lightness while vibrating broken promises. Greg Braden explains, the field amplifies everything, not just what you want, but what's still alive in you. Before imagining the new, maybe it's time to release the old, to honor forgotten wounds, to listen to the parts that say I wasn't seen. That's not weakness, it's healing. It's spiritual maturity to understand that manifestation requires release. You don't need to be fully healed to co-create, but you do need to be aware of what you're vibrating. The field responds to coherence, and when you clear the fragments, manifestation flows. Maybe the next step isn't to do more, but to let go more, to feel more. Because the universe doesn't respond to what you say, it responds to what still vibrates inside you. Before asking the universe for any answer, breathe. Before you visualize or affirm, organize your presence. The quantum field doesn't wait for instructions, it reflects what still lives within you. Many times, manifestation doesn't fail because of wrong intention, but due to too much internal noise. Bruce Lipton teaches that the inner environment, shaped by recurring emotions, defines the cellular field. If fear vibrates louder, wishing for peace won't help. The universe responds to the dominant frequency. That's why vibrational technique begins with 3 steps: feel, breathe, and discern. Pause and ask, what am I still carrying that doesn't match what I desire? This inner listening reveals what's been ignored: guilt, sadness, urgency driven by fear. Welcome it. Then breathe until your body begins to slow down. Conscious breathing reorganizes the nervous system and clears the signal. Finally ask, is this emotion mine or inherited? Oftentimes, you're vibrating childhood patterns, ancestral fears, or family wounds. Naming them with awareness initiates the release. And when the inner field becomes organized, the universe responds with clarity. Greg Braden reminds us, coherence is when mind, body, and heart say the same thing. And only then, when you speak to the universe from that clarity, it listens, and it responds. Few emotions disrupt the vibrational field as much as guilt. And at the same time, it's one of the hardest to recognize. Guilt disguises itself as perfectionism, self-demand, and constant effort to make up for something. Sometimes, it even hides behind kindness, as if you needed to diminish yourself to feel worthy of love or prosperity. In the quantum field, guilt is noise. It sends the universe a contradictory message. You say you want something, but vibrate the opposite. You affirm, I want to thrive, but inside you feel I don't deserve it. You visualize love, but carry the weight of unresolved relationships. You want a fresh start, but still vibrate with regret. Bruce Lipton explains that the body reads the emotional environment as instruction. If guilt prevails, the body assumes something is wrong, and instead of creating, it shuts down. Instead of receiving, it goes into defense mode. Greg Braden adds, the universe responds to what you feel is truth, not what you say you want. Guilt activates an exhausting energetic cycle. You may achieve something, but there comes an unconscious impulse to pay a price, to sabotage, to give in. It's as if an invisible vibrational debt is being paid with suffering. But guilt only dissolves with awareness. It doesn't vanish through denial or distraction. It needs to be seen, embraced, understood. You can ask, where does this guilt come from? What part of me believes it can't be happy? What mistake have I still not forgiven? These questions bring liberation, because when you shine light on guilt, it stops operating in the dark. And when you embrace the part of you that made mistakes, that acted from fear, that did the best it could with the awareness it had, compassion is born. And compassion is pure vibrational alignment. It's like cleaning the windows so the light can come back in. If your life feels stuck, maybe it's not a lack of worthiness, but an excess of guilt. And you don't need to keep paying with pain for something that has already passed. You can choose to forgive yourself. And when that choice is deeply felt, the field responds, and everything begins to flow again. It's easy to think vibrational confusion only appears during crises, but often it arises in the effort to seem positive, when the field starts receiving mixed signals and responds with silence. The most subtle part, most people don't even realize they're creating this disorganization. It shows up in the details. One of the first signs is constantly shifting your intention. Today you want one thing, tomorrow another. This fluctuation weakens the field, which responds to coherence, not to haste. Bruce Lipton shows that the subconscious is the true conductor of manifestation. If you don't hold a desire long enough, the field keeps responding to the old pattern, the one still active beneath the surface. Another sign, doubting what you're asking for. Doubt opens cracks. The universe reflects this. Progress that never completes, signs that vanish. The field says, I hear you, but you're not sure. And when signs do appear, do you ignore them? A dream, a sentence, a sudden discomfort, all could be answers. But fear silences your ability to listen. Greg Braden reminds us, the field communicates through subtlety. If you're not present or pretend not to see, you break the vibrational bridge and the flow closes. Another point, your actions contradict your requests. You ask for connection but avoid intimacy. You desire abundance but reject small blessings. The field feels this as lack of readiness and responds with stagnation. And if everything is always almost worked, almost happened, this is an invitation to observe where there's still fragmentation, incoherence, noise. Clarity doesn't require perfection, but it does require truth. Start by observing your actions, listening to your thoughts, feeling your body when you say something out loud. You are not being ignored, you're being heard with precision. And maybe the universe is simply waiting for you to finally align fully with what you say you want. Many people search for clarity as if it were a light coming from outside, as if the universe at some point would send a luminous answer, an undeniable sign, a moment that would finally reveal the path. But in the quantum field, clarity is a reflection, and it can only appear on the outside when it starts to organize within you. Internal coherence is the real request the field understands. When your thoughts move in the same direction as your feelings, and your actions reinforce both, something begins to align in a silent and powerful way. The flow begins, not because everything is resolved, but because truth is vibrating in your field. Bruce Lipton explains that your internal environment, shaped by emotions, beliefs, and perceptions, alters how your cells behave. This means that when you say one thing but feel another, the body goes on alert. It senses contradiction, and that noise is transmitted into the field. In other words, there's no point in asking for peace if your body vibrates fear. No use affirming abundance if your nervous system responds with contraction. The universe doesn't respond to what you say, it responds to what you live. Greg Braden reinforces, emotional coherence is more powerful than mental intention. When your heart and mind are in harmony, your electromagnetic field expands in a clear, strong, and harmonious way. In this state, you become like a vibrational lighthouse, emitting a stable, unmistakable frequency that the field recognizes and amplifies. So how do you reach this coherence? The answer is not in creating forced emotions, but in accepting the true ones. You might be in pain, you might be in doubt, you might be moving through a difficult process. That's not a problem for the field. The problem is pretending to be okay when everything inside is in chaos. The field doesn't require positivity, it requires authenticity. When you align with a genuine emotion, even if it's sadness, exhaustion, or frustration, and embrace it with presence, awareness, and inner dignity, your energy reorganizes, your body relaxes, your heart creates space, and paradoxically, clarity begins to emerge. Not because you've solved everything, but because you stopped lying to yourself. Internal coherence is not an idealized state. It's a real, attainable daily practice. It's looking inward and asking, What am I truly feeling right now? Does it match what I'm asking for? If not, what can I do today to meet this gap with love? This emotional honesty transforms your vibration. It clears the channel. It tunes your being to the language of the universe, the language of coherence. So next time you seek clarity on the outside, first turn inward. Organize what you feel, embrace what you think, align what you do, and then observe. Because when you become clear on the inside, the world stops looking so foggy. The path appears, the flow returns, life responds, not because it changed, but because you began to vibrate in truth again. In moments of confusion, it's common to believe we're being tested by the universe, but that belief comes from fear, and the quantum field doesn't operate through judgment. It simply responds to the vibration we emit. You're not being tested, you're being decoded. The universe is a faithful mirror. It picks up your emotional energy, thoughts, and actions and responds accordingly. If you're trying to manifest something new, but still vibrating with the codes of your old self, the field experiences conflict. The result? Static, delay, repetition. Bruce Lipton teaches that subconscious beliefs operate like outdated software. If you don't update those patterns in your body, the field keeps responding to the past. Greg Braden reinforces. The field responds to what you sustain as truth, not to what you pretend to be. And to sustain is a state of being. That's why when everything feels stuck, see yourself as someone going through an energetic reorganization. The old screams before it leaves. Those outdated codes arise not to punish you, but to be seen and released. Yes, this process can hurt, but it also heals, and it sets you free. You are being adjusted to receive a reality that is more aligned with who you've become. Breathe, update your vibration, speak the energetic truth of who you are now, and the universe, which was never against you, will finally understand. It's time to respond with precision. If you've made it this far, perhaps something within you has started to reorganize. Not because of magic, but because now you can see more clearly what once felt like chaos. The confusion you were feeling may have simply been the reflection of a vibrational field trying to speak to you, and now you are more available to listen. Bruce Lipton teaches that what we truly feel, not just what we think, shapes the biology of the body and the reality around us. Shifting your vibration is not just a spiritual act, it's biological. It's a deep reprogramming that begins within and overflows outward. Greg Braden adds, "You can only receive what you can sustain vibrationally. The universe doesn't deliver what you want, it reflects what you vibrate as truth. So if the results haven't shown up yet, don't blame yourself. Maybe it's not effort that's missing, but presence, truth, wholeness, clarity. The confusion was never in the field, it was the echo of fragmented frequency. But now, with more awareness, you can become a clear and coherent channel for the life you want to live. And that changes everything. The universe doesn't listen to words, it listens to your field. And when your field vibrates with truth, reality shifts from the inside out. Instead of asking for more signs, try offering a clean frequency. Breathe, feel, honor, not with urgency, but with inner truth. Because that's how the field understands. That's how it responds. You're not being tested, you're being decoded. The field is a mirror. If you vibrate with the codes of your old self, it reflects the past. But if you update your vibration, it recognizes it's time to return a new reality. This process may hurt, but it also sets you free. You are ready.